Hey, so this week I'm doing some more Mutant Mayhem customs. I had these extra turtles from the 2-packs, and I was like, what can I do with them? I already made the other ones match the movie more, and so these guys, I'm going to do something different. But when I was taking them apart, the belts didn't come off as easily as with the regular guys. These guys have battle damage, but I noticed their plastron, or front of their shell, on the regular ones it's hard plastic, on these ones it's soft plastic, so the belts kind of fused to the soft plastic a bit and made it more difficult to take them off, so I had to soak them in hot water before, but I got it. And so that's kind of what I'm going to go for with these guys, take them back to the original. So to hold the heads, I have some foam floor mats, and I just cut a piece off that and put it into stuck a toothpick in it and then put it in a bigger piece on the bottom. So I have some white primer, black primer, and then some regular white acrylic, and they're all acrylic primers so that they work with the acrylic paints, and they're made that they go on plastics as well as other things. So I started with a light gray color, and I'm just doing all the tight spots around the eyes and stuff and the face first with a little brush, and then I'll get a bigger brush when I move on to the bigger parts. And so I'm doing all 4 turtles at the same time. Usually I do 1 at a time or 2 at a time, but they're all going to be the same. And if I did them at different times, they wouldn't all be the same. They'd all be a little different. I mean, they're still going to be a little different, each one, but like the colors and stuff will be all the same, because if I have to mix the gray again, it's not going to be the same gray, and I'm not going to want to try too hard to color match. So I put just a little bit of black acrylic in that and mixed up just a little bit, so I have a dark gray that I'm doing on all their weapons. So I get the whole staff of Donnie's bow staff, but just the handles for the swords and nunchucks and sai. Yeah. Then I add some more white and mix it all together to get a slightly darker gray with the same paint I'm using, but I wanted a little darker gray, and a second coat was needed because especially Mikey was really dark, so he really shows through. But just to get it all and get it good, I wanted a slightly darker gray because I don't know, it'll cover better, and it'll look better because I'm gonna add black and white, so I want to have as many shades really as I can, just but within black and white. And so my next step is I cover everything with a matte acrylic varnish, and that's just gonna seal it all up so it won't get scratched while I'm working, or the next layers of paint and wash that I put on won't just soak into the paint that's already there, so it gives me a barrier. So that's one of the first turtles, or the first turtle, and that was black and white. Now I have a black wash, so it's like 20% or 30%. Okay, it's 2/3 water and 1/3 black paint. That's what I was trying to say. But in percentages, then it would be like 66% and 33%. But that particular one, I made it a long time ago, and then when I have it open for a while, some of the water is evaporating, so I ended up getting Raph a little darker than the other guys because I dipped further down to the thicker paint at the bottom. But that's okay because I'm gonna cover it up, and if he's a little darker, that's fine with me. But now I just have some regular black acrylic, and I'm doing all their pads, knee pads and elbow pads. And I did Donnie's wrap on his bow staff so that it would have a different color than the wood part of the bow staff. Now I have just some regular white acrylic, and I'm just dry brushing over everything just a little bit, so you get a little on the brush, and you don't want to use like a nice expensive brush really. Yeah, you wipe most of it off and then just dry brush it. Well, it's partially dry brush, it's a little bit of paint on there, but it just picks up all the edges and the raised spots and leaves the cracks darker, which is what I'm going for, and brings out all the details. I also do it on the weapons and even on the blades, because they're already silver, or gray, like dark gray silvery, so they already match, but I wanted to add a little bit of white just to make them blend in more and to just bring out the bright spots and have it there. And I also do on their faces and everywhere, but this regular white, it's the same white that I used in the gray, so it's not really standing out as much as I would like, but I'm gonna fix that after with some, those are just some different ones that, those were Best Actions version of black and white with a red bandana. But now I have titanium white, since a brighter, more vibrant white, and it's a thicker paint as well. And I'm dry brushing that, and it's really making the edges pop out. And having those two different whites, well, the lighter white, the other white, helps this brighter white to stand out on top of it, but also gives me a gradient of colors, which is what I'm going for, like it's drawn in a comic book. And yeah, and now, yeah, I get a little on Raphael's full bandana, so just a little on their face and beak mostly, a little bit on the top of the head. But Raph didn't get it on the top of his head because he has the full bandana, but it would have been more important to say that if I did the other guys first, which is what I thought was happening, but it doesn't matter. You get the tops of the muscles and just have getting a little darker going back and in all the cracks and stuff. And I got a good amount of wash in the feet, so then the dry brushing, so that's some more modern but of old, but it's just a cool different cover of the modern TMNT from IDW. But I didn't really use any references, but I know what I'm going for. But I like to have different stuff in between when I'm doing stuff that could be references, or just it's usually references, but it's stuff that I would have used as a reference if I needed a reference. But it's black and white with red bandana. That is a cardinal red, and I did one coat, but then off screen I did another coat to make it brighter and pop out more. And you didn't need to see that because you see one coat, you don't need to see the other coat. It's already enough just painting and painting, and now I'm painting a final coat of matte acrylic varnish to get them all sealed up and ready to fight crime in the night. And yeah, blend in the snow if they have to fight someone in the snow. Those are the weapons. But yeah, I had these extra turtles, and I was thinking, what could I do with them? And I thought I'll just bring them back to the original, where they weren't nearly based on the comic books as I would have liked them. Not even close. They're their own new thing, and I think they look better like this. Or at least, I don't know, you have any ideas of what else I could have done with them? I thought I'd make them all the same green, or do the original turtle colors, but I don't know, I like this. Let me know what you think, I guess. And got a bunch of stuff coming up. Rocksteady next week, I fix him. Well, we'll see, let me know. Well, that'll be next week, but until then, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.